Hey guys, welcome back to the Real Southern Garden. I'm Sarah and today is another fun plant shopping video. I know that you guys love these and I love doing them for you, and I wanted to get this out early on Thursday evening before the weekend so that if you wanted to do any plant shopping, you could see what some of the best deals and best values are that are out there right now. So we are going to head out to Home Depot and Lowe's, maybe Walmart, but definitely Home Depot and Lowe's. I know that there's some really great deals on Encore azaleas out there right now. I'm going to show you where. Those are a great shrub if you've got a full sun location, 6 hours or more of light. They just do so well and they bloom for a long period and they're very hardy. These ferns are a really great deal. They're still at Walmart on rollback for $9.97. They're $6 cheaper than they were at Home Depot and Lowe's. I know because I bought 4. Anyway, but there's some really fun, great deals out there, and we're going to have a good day. I've got all the babies loaded up, so let's head out and see what we find. And of course, at the end of the video, I'll have my plant haul for you guys to see. All right, let's go.
All right, so here we are pulling up to the Home Depot Garden Center. And just look at all of this beautiful color. Everything is so fresh and brand new. I love it. And they even had quite a few things still on racks that they hadn't actually got off of the racks yet. So I love this beautiful blue in this plant right here. Lithidora, I believe is how you pronounce it. Love it. It's a perennial. I had to get a couple because the color is just outstanding. And then of course this perennial dianthus or carnation. I had to get a couple of these. They're going to come back every year. They smell fabulous. I had to take some of those home. And then right here, this saucer magnolia. This was right at $60. I'm going to show you how much they are over at the Home Depot in just a little bit. All right, and then one of my favorite buys, I would say, is this Encore azalea that is on sale. I bought 4 of them in the fall. I think I bought Autumn Starburst is the one I bought. They were $12.98. They're on sale for $9.88. So if you have been in the market for Encore azaleas, I love them. The bloom power is out of this world. Some of them even are evergreen and keep their leaves all winter. Head down to the Home Depot and check these out. They are the best price. They were better priced here than they were at Lowe's. And then just every color of the rainbow, just some really great, beautiful plants here. I think they were $1.98. Let me see in the shot exactly. Yes, they were $1.98. And keep in mind that there are annual dianthus and there are perennial dianthus, and you're looking at some annuals right there above the right corner in that shot. That is a lily, an Asiatic lily that I just picked up. And then all kinds of beautiful petunias and hanging baskets and all kinds of fun little things over here. When I was a kid, I loved to buy the striped petunias, like the candy striped ones. So anytime I see those, they remind me of being like 4 years old. Okay, then we're going to wind our way back and I'm going to show you some items that just came in. They were still on the racks back here. First, we're going to go by the ferns. Now, these ferns are at Walmart for $9.88 or $9.97. I keep forgetting, but around that price. So check those out. Here are some more beautiful Encore azaleas that have come in. I love that color. It is fabulous. And then they had some better boxwood. I haven't grown this particular variety, but it was looking really healthy. Those just came in as well. And then at the bottom, they had some really nice steed holly. It can take full sun, sometimes a little bit of shade, but mostly wants full sun. And I love the look of that. That's a great plant. And then, of course, these are going to be annuals here in Georgia. These are Mandevilla. They were not where I grew up in Houston, but they are here. They're really pretty though. So if you're in the market for those, they had some really great ones at Home Depot. They had the best price compared to Lowe's. Some hibiscus also. These were priced a little bit better here at Home Depot as well. And generally speaking, one thing that I noticed between the big box stores and specialty nurseries is that specialty nurseries will carry, there's a nice snapdragon there, they will carry things even when they're not blooming per se. And the big box stores really get things in when they are blooming and in season because it's easier for them to sell them, obviously. And people kind of go to the more specialty nurseries to find something that they are really trying to hunt down. So I guess, it makes sense. Some more petunias, really vibrant colors. And then there's still some daffodils hanging out over here. They might put these on sale soon. I don't know. And then let's check out the roses and see where they come in and price. You can see that right there, what they're going for. They looked nice and healthy. And then, of course, the double knockout is a really popular rose, and she is really quite the blooming powerhouse. So a nice one to pick up. For the name of this one, I couldn't find it, but it's a really pretty scented lavender rose. And a lot of these roses are grafted, but now and then you can find some that aren't. And I was trying to figure out, I think this one is not grafted. It was kind of hard for me to see. And then we're going to head on back. There's some beautiful phlox. It is not the garden phlox. However, garden phlox is heavily scented, and I found it at Lowe's, so just hold tight for that. These old-fashioned azaleas, this color is gorgeous. It reminds me of the ones my mama had. We used to take our Easter pictures in front of them every spring, and I do want to get some of these eventually, but not on this trip. All right, and then here's some boxwood that we were checking out. They look pretty healthy, but not really a great size in my opinion. I found better ones at Lowe's, so just hold on for that. That's coming up in the video. And then we had to make our way back to the veggies and the herbs, and I did pick up a few of these. I got some basil and some thyme. I'm growing some things from seed right now, but I did want to pick up just a couple. You're going to see them in a video that I have coming up as well. But just needed a few things and just checked out, what they had. They had hanging basket strawberries, which I thought was very interesting. But, strawberries will really multiply and spread. So I think that they do better if you plant them in ground or in a large raised bed. And rosemary is always an herb that's pretty pricey. And by the way, all of these Bonnie plants, I never see them discounted at any of the stores, whether it's Walmart, Costco, Lowe's, or Home Depot. They're pretty much consistent in their pricing. I don't even see them on the clearance rack at the end of the season. So if you are wanting to buy some of those, if you're not growing them from seed, or maybe growing some things but not all, or whatever the case is, Bonnie plants are pretty consistent in price no matter where you are. So don't feel bad as long as they're healthy about picking them up wherever you see them. All right, and then we're going to head inside. They have all of their nursery, or we call them florist hydrangeas, the ones that won't make it outside here in Georgia. You can't plant them and have them come back the next year. But they sure are gorgeous, aren't they? So they're $34.98 for the floral or florist hydrangeas, however you refer to them. They are very pretty though. I've got my eye on looking for a Nico blue hydrangea or a Nantucket blue hydrangea. So those are, of course, the perennial ones that come back outside. Got some of these Calabrochia. I love this yellow. Thought it would look really nice with some of the blue flowers that I was picking up. And just look at all the color, guys. Oh my goodness, it's almost overwhelming. And Home Depot always has pretty great prices on shrubs. They also do bulk discounts, which is nice. I think if you buy, you get like 10% if you buy a certain amount for bulk pricing. And Then the Nandina, that is always a great plant. I think it's a great value because it just is easy grow and easy care. These baby gem boxwoods weren't too bad, but baby gem is of course a lot smaller than say wintergreen. And wintergreen I found the best price at Lowe's, like I said, and that is coming up later in the video. This Miracle Grow is 3 for $10. That was a good deal. And sometimes those smaller bags are easier to deal with. Here are some more of the beautiful Encore azaleas on sale for $9.88. Love this discount on this plant. They are fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. There it is. Bulk pricing is 20% off. Sorry guys, not 10, it's 20. And then we're gonna head back down the aisle. I'm gonna show you this Dusty Miller, of course. I bought some of these a couple of weeks ago. I love that little plant, and it comes back for me as a perennial in my area. And these really tall snapdragons, I did not see any of these at Lowe's, so I just saw these at Home Depot, and they are really beautiful. I bought some of them a couple weeks ago, just 2 of them, and they really added some color. That petunia is gorgeous, that purple. This gorgeous red rose right here was really, really awesome. Loved the smell of that one. Then I just wanted to check out this yellow Calabroccia again and make sure that it was priced the same as the ones I saw on the other end of the store, and it was. And then there were some really pretty little verbena next to it, the little pink ones. And that was priced the same at $6.48. And then I believe the blue ones were the same price. I think that's lobelia. I cannot pronounce all of these. And it was the same price at $6.48. And this really dark purple crimson plant, I have never seen this before. I really liked it, but it's so dark that it wouldn't really show up in my flower bed at the front of my house. But wow, that is a really interesting looking plant. And then there was just tons of ground cover phlox, but of course this is not the garden phlox because the garden phlox is really fragrant, and that is what I had my eye out looking for, and I did not find garden phlox here at Home Depot, but I did find it at Lowe's, so that's coming up. And I absolutely love that plant. It's perennial, it comes back, and it smells so good. And then we have these beautiful red carnations. These smelled really good. So if you were looking for a red perennial carnation, this might be the one that you fall in love with too. And it was $5.98, so not bad. And there's the perennial candy tuft, by the way. Another dianthus. This was a really pretty color as well. I just love that they come back and they bloom all season, spring, summer, fall. It's fabulous. This one was also very fragrant. And this was a new plant that I don't think I have really noticed before either. This really beautiful purple kind of color, wallflower. I like the name as well. It's a perennial. I've never grown her, but really nice look to her. And then of course, there's tons and tons more of that ground cover phlox. And I wanted to look at some of the containers here. These are all plastic containers, but I wanted to see if any of these were made in the USA. And Vigoro does have some that are, but you have to check the tag. So some are. And now we are on to Lowe's. Let's see what they have here that is better priced or a better deal. So all kinds of annuals up here at the very front, and they were all priced at $1.98. So the salvia, hummingbirds love that, of course, but usually get some of that every year. And then in the back, they had, wasn't coneflower, a beautiful purple flower that's coming up. And it's actually, pincushion is the name of that flower in the back. I have not grown, actually I take it back, I did grow one variety once. It's a perennial, and that is a really beautiful bloom on that plant. All right, so here's some more of the ferns. I believe they were coming in at, what was that, $16.98, I think it was. They are better priced at Walmart, so go to Walmart to pick those up for $9.88. They are still, or $9.97, sorry, they're still on rollback. All right, so let's see what they have over here. The Mandevilla was a better price over at Home Depot. And then we came across my phlox I've been looking for, my garden phlox. Only here at Lowe's. I bought this a couple years ago and I wanted to add some more to my garden. It has been an amazing plant for me. You should grab some too if you're looking for something highly scented that's perennial that will come back. This is a great one. And my mama is still better at picking out plants than I am, like getting the most perfect plant. So I still let her help when she's with me. Some pretty little hibiscus, kind of like a salmon color. My grandmother loved hibiscus. She grew so many, and they were, of course, perennials for her down in Houston. They're not like that up here in Georgia, though. Then, of course, there's some beautiful Gerber daisies coming up here. We did not pick up any on this trip, but they do really well in Georgia. And just flower all season, as long as I give them a little bit of protection from the hot afternoon sun and kind of put them in a morning sun, midday sun location. Little Adeline had her bunny with her on this trip. Then they had these deals, 3 for $12 for these perennials. It was the, oh my goodness, I can't read the sign here, but not 1 quart, it was smaller. The 1.5 pint and the 1 pint size. Yeah, all of these were 3 for $12 and limited deal, but going on right now. So head out this weekend. The Coreopsis is looking fabulous. That's a perennial. The Dianthus over there, you really can't beat it. It's a good deal. And then checking out some of their hanging baskets. They are priced pretty close to Home Depot. I'm really loving the color on this geranium. This salmon color is so pretty. And these were a little bit less here, but the ones I bought didn't have the stripe, but I would have been happy with a stripe too. And here comes the stripy petunias. And these are what I always picked out when I was about 4 or 5 years old. And my mom would get them for me every summer. Love, love, love these striped petunias. And I am looking for the Super Tunia Bubble Gum. And I did not find it on this trip at either store, but I really want to try that one. I've never grown it. And I want to see what all the hype is about. And then, of course, there was some beautiful salvia over here. I almost picked up this color, but I went for a lighter color that Proof of Winners just came out with. It's a different variety, and you'll see it a little bit later in the video. Lowe's had a better size of these white carnations, so I picked some up here because I didn't want the giant size that they had at Home Depot. And they were like 16 something, $16.98 I think, and I wanted the smaller one, so I picked some of those up here. Some beautiful salvia and some other little cluster, what's the word? You get like what, 12 of them I think in there in those little packets. And then of course all the Bonnie plants. Some of these are already looking like they need to be watered. I didn't purchase any vegetables or herbs at this Lowe's, but just did a quick little, not drive-by, roll-by, I guess, of all of their selections that they had. Home Depot had more selection of the vegetables and herbs. And then, of course, we looked at this a couple weeks ago, that gardenia. We're going to head inside now and see what they've got in here. Some gorgeous lantana. That was a perennial where I grew up, but it is not here in Georgia, not in North Georgia anyway. And then here is that really neat salvia from Proven Winners. It's a new variety, perfect profusion. It says it's supposed to be heavily flowering the entire season, so we're gonna try it. And then the boxwood, the wintergreen boxwood, this is where I bought mine last year. It just looks really healthy and it was a great price, the $9.98. I really don't see it for less than that. I think Tractor Supply had it for around the same price last year. There's a gardenia, that was a pretty nice one, but I really prefer August Beauty gardenia, the camellia right there. They had a couple great camellias in. All right, we're gonna swing around and look at some of the ground cover, like the moss and some of the grasses and the ivies that they have. They have a really good selection. And Lowe's seems to carry kind of like the moss and the ground cover type things like that I did not see at Home Depot. And I'm still looking for some silver gumdrop heuchera. Have not found it yet, but they did have some other varieties here. The purple one is really nice. I have some of that. This Nandina, highly recommend. Love it. Really hardy little plant. And then just a couple different rhododendron and azaleas that are blooming. And Lowe's also has a great selection of containers. These are some really heavy ceramic containers and they all have drainage holes in them. You definitely need help loading these or getting these home. I would have them delivered, but they have some really beautiful ones. And then we're going to take a look at their Encore azaleas. They are not priced anywhere near what they were over at Home Depot. So Home Depot wins for the Encore azalea price this week for sure. Autumn Embers is a really pretty one. I like that color a lot. And then we're going to look at some of the ground cover phlox again. They had a lot of that as well. And then the 3 for $12 perennials. Another little flat, say a flat of it, I guess, inside here at the nursery. And some more Calabrochia. I think this is the one that just has a little bit of white on the edges, similar to the one that I bought at Home Depot. And of course, Gerber daisies, lots of the orange, lots of the red, just some really beautiful colors. Really pretty color in this begonia. And then they had these leftover from Christmas time conifers. I thought that was really funny, but hey, they still work. They had Miracle Grow on sale here. That was a good deal. Another color of this Calabrochia that's really nice. And then we're going to head back and look at some of the hydrangeas. And so they had some that are actually the perennial type hydrangeas that we're all used to that you can plant outside that are not just, you know, the floral hydrangeas. So wanted to see what varieties they had. And the Bloomstruck is really popular. And then this cute little fountain, really cute little setup that they had. And then we're going to look at some of the drop-in containers. These are really nice if you just need something really quickly. They're pre-planted for you in great combinations. I have bought these before when I was in a pinch and had like relatives coming over or a party or something like that, and I just needed something to put in a container. You can set them up on some bricks inside of a container, give them some height, and they work out really great. The Candy Tuff was this actually a little bit more, I believe, at Lowe's than it was at the other at the Home Depot. And then this beautiful red carnation making an appearance again. This is the same color that we saw over at Home Depot and basically the same price as well. We're going to head back and look at the roses. I think they had a better selection of roses here at Lowe's, in my opinion, except for that purple one that they had at Home Depot. That one was really nice. This bridal respirea is one of my favorite plants. I have one of her in my garden and she's about to bloom. It just looks like a wedding plant to me. So pretty. And then, of course, we wanted to head back and look at the clearance rack at Lowe's. Home Depot doesn't have a clearance rack like this, but Lowe's does. And they had some tulips on sale. Of course, those aren't going to probably work out too well in this part of the country as far as coming back. They had the salvia. We did pick up some of those. We picked out the best ones. We bought them on clearance last year, and they did fabulous. They just need some water, but they're going to be okay. And then let me take you guys back and show you some of the specials on the dirt. So 2 for $16 here for the organic Miracle-Gro, which is pretty great. They also had 2 for $16 in that organic Miracle-Gro as well. And then they had, this is the mulch I normally buy. It's 5 for $10, which is a great price. I'll be going back to get some of that. My husband had my pickup truck today, so I couldn't. And Stay Green was also, I believe this is the in-ground one on sale. 3 for $10, so pretty good deal. And there's my daughter wanting to wave. These are some really cool little peach trees that are patio peach trees. I'd like to try one of those one day. And then I wanted to check the price on the saucer magnolia. They were $1 less here, I believe, or just a few cents. It wasn't much. They were $60, I believe, at Home Depot. So very similar, but these looked healthier. And then we headed home.
All right, we are back home. So let me show you what I picked up. First of all, we're definitely going to go back and get some of that mulch that's 5 for $10 right now. That is the brand I buy every year. I'm not really picky about what brand, but that is usually the one that's on sale, and it's been great. So we're going to get some of that. And let me show you the flowers I got. All right, so I got 3 of the Lithodora, I think is how you pronounce it. They were $7.98, so they weren't cheap, but they are perennials. They're going to come back every year. They just bloom mid to late spring, but I loved this color. And the fact that it's a perennial, it won me over. But you just don't see this color in a flower very often. And I have a spot where I want to put it with some white roses and maybe put some carnations, some white carnations in there. So I think this will look really nice. Also going to add some of the yellow Calabrochia. And I thought these would be a really pretty color combination. We got 6 of these guys. They were not on sale, but they were $6.48, and they were the same price at both stores. And they're going to be really, really bloom powerhouses all season. So I don't feel bad when I buy these because I know they're going to last all the way pretty much to the first frost. And then I have talked about this before. I've been waiting for garden phlox to get in. This is the one, this is called Blue Moon phlox. There's a lot of ground cover phlox out right now. This is harder to find, and it smells really, really good. It's a perennial. It smells like the little Charmkin toys from the 80s. If you guys were kids in the 80s like I was, that's what this reminds me of, and I love it. And I already have some in my garden, and I wanted to add some more this year, so I picked up 2 of these guys. All right, and then on clearance at Lowe's, we got these little guys, which are the salvia, the red salvia, and then we have snapdragons. They were all $1, and they had a little bit of frost damage. We got 5 of these, just 2 of these. We picked out the best ones. We bought some of these on clearance last year, and they turned out beautiful and did really well the entire season. And snapdragons also come back for me, at least for a couple seasons. So I think that they're always a pretty good buy. Another plant that I think is really good value are the perennial carnation. So they weren't on sale per se, but this will bloom all season from now till the first frost. It's a perennial. It's going to come back. You have to read the tags on these guys because there's a whole lot of different dianthus. Some are annual, some are perennial. Anyway, some smell good, some don't. This one is heavily fragrant, and it's called Early Bird Frosty Dianthus. So I got this white color, and we just picked up a couple of these. Like I said, they're perennial, and they should be here for many, many years. So always excited to get this kind of a plant. And the other great deals that we saw that we didn't buy, but we bought them in the fall, are the Encore azaleas that are they were $9.98 or $9.97. I can't remember, but they are on sale at Home Depot. I would grab those. Those are a steal. I'm actually thinking about where could I put some more, because that is a really, really great price. They were not that cheap at Lowe's, but Home Depot was the winner for those Encore azaleas. And then also there was a saucer magnolia we compared to at Lowe's and Home Depot. The one at Lowe's, they had more of them, and they looked like they were really good quality. They were like $1 less, I think, at Lowe's. So pretty close in price on those. And then of course Lowe's had that 3 for 12? I think it was 3 for 12 little perennials right now on sale. They also had Miracle Grow on sale, and they had a lot of dirt on sale. Home Depot had some sales on dirt too. It's in the video if you guys watch that part, but lots of good things out there this weekend. Those are my top picks. Like I said, I love dianthus, the perennial dianthus, snapdragons, and I picked up a couple herbs as well. You're gonna see those in a video coming up. And I almost forgot that we also picked up this new Proven Winner salvia. I just really like the color blue of this. This is gonna go right in front of our house, like at the entry gate. And it says it's supposed to bloom a whole lot. So we're gonna try it this year. We got 2 of those. All right, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you loved going shopping with us. I love going shopping with you guys. And if you're headed out to the big box nurseries this weekend, I hope that you find some great deals. Maybe I gave you some ideas. That mulch is on sale now. There's a lot of things that are just great buys out there. So if you haven't subscribed to our channel, we would love for you to subscribe to our channel. Leave me a comment. Let me know where you garden and what you're up to over in your neck of the woods. And I will see you back here next time in the next video right here at the Real Southern Garden. Bye. Can you say bye? Bye.